All right, grand community. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That is why information is key to everything we do in life. Try to educate yourself or equip yourself with the right information in order for us to move forward in life. So I want you to pay attention to this and read in between the line. I should listen to this VN, read in between the line and find the balance in order for you to be more educated when it comes to grants matters. And I want you to subscribe and share this piece of information. Let other people also join us. Let's have a robust discussion in the comment section by saying your mind or how you feel in the comment section, but avoid insult, guys. Pay attention and see you in the comment section.
I want to quickly address some issues within the ground ecosystem concerning the situations at hand, especially when it comes to the irregularities and inconsistencies that is surrounding the arrival of the IMF team from Kenya. It has become a notable feature of the ground ecosystem when it comes to inconsistencies and irregularities. These are common consistencies within the ground ecosystem. Over time, if you have been here, you'll understand what I'm saying, that it's been part and parcel of this ecosystem. These fluctuations in timing and communication sometimes could give rise to confusion, and particularly among the reporters or the influencers who have sometimes been perceived as untrustworthy or even deceitful. However, it is also crucial to recognize that these individuals are not, the reporters are not deceivers, and they are not untrustworthy. In fact, sometimes we might be misrepresenting the situation. The reporters are simply caught in a broader web of uncertainty and some shifting timelines that are not entirely within their control. The unpredictable nature of this development in the ground ecosystem, specifically the changing of dates and expectations surrounding the IMF team's arrival, not only these that have been happening before now, but the one right before us now, it's the arrival of the IMF team, which goes a long way to tell how it's going to affect the disbursement within the month of March in the case that they did not come on time, which according to the team, they don't want any interference between their disbursement and the salary week. Now, but the changing of dates and the expectations that surrounds the team's arrival is also creating a persistent lacuna of information. This void, an area of uncertainty, is really what has led to the prolonged silence, if I could say, of the like figure of the county director, Apostle Professor Ken, who has refrained from publicly commenting or providing updates on some situations quite salient. I want to believe that it's not out of neglect or a lack of interest for him to communicate us, but because the reality of the situation at hand is a complex one, and it could be beyond his immediate influence. Yes, and the intricacies of these delays are simply not within his power to resolve or communicate with certainty. The reason he went silent. He's been silent now more than a month. And with the way things are going, he might be silent until I don't know when. It might be further silent until I perceive it has the 99.1 or 9% of assurance that it's going to disburse. But one good news which I would like to relate to us, I will call it good news because I see it as an opportunity for us not to keep the ground ecosystem in a state of graveyard. Despite the challenges posed by this uncertainty, the reporters and influencers in the field cannot, as a matter of fact, cannot afford to remain silent, as Apostle Ken has done. You would feel it if we remain silent. You might say, well, if you don't have to remain silent, why don't you pick up a very truthful information? You might think it is easy. You might think we don't want to do that. Of course, we want to do that. We want to give you the right form of information at a point in time and at the right time. But sometimes we are caught between this web of who is saying the truth, and even those who are bringing out the truth. Before you know, within a little time bit, things have shifted. Things just shifted. With all certainty, you have within a couple of minutes, things have shifted again. It's more or less like a syndrome within the ground ecosystem. You understand? So we can't afford to be quiet or silent as Apostle Ken has done. Our role, although fraught with difficulties due to the ever-changing landscape of this ground ecosystem, is very, very critical and also vital. If we are to withhold information or cease reporting these details, this ground ecosystem, believe you me, could very well descend into chaos or stagnation. And I can best describe the situation as what could lead to a graveyard situation, a place that is devoid of progress and purpose. So we, the reporters, despite the difficulties we face, we must continue to relay what information we have. We must ensure that the public remains engaged and also informed. Take, for example, the case of Osim's earlier report. Osim is a figure I really have respect for, so I wouldn't talk against him because he's trying his best. And just like what I'm explaining also, he's also caught in the web despite his detailed, wrapped up information. Now, the case of his earlier report, where it was stated that the IMF team would arrive in the country on Thursday or Friday of the previous week. And this information was widely circulated by influencers, creating expectations that the team's arrival was imminent. However, as time passed, the narrative shifted suddenly. Reports emerged that the team would not be arriving until Monday or Tuesday of this week we are in, either today or tomorrow. Then Madam Ngozi Israel also reiterated this delay. She stated that the IMF team had yet to return, but they would likely do so by Tuesday. Now, despite these adjustments, in her voice note, she was expressing confidence that this shift will not result in further delays in the grant disbursement process. However, I see that this fluctuating report should not be a cause for alarm or distraction for anybody. It is very important to understand that that changes in information, especially within the context of the ground ecosystem, are not uncommon. Yes, these shifts are part and parcel of a broader, often unpredictable system. where we have found ourselves. And what remains constant is the ultimate goal. That is what can be taken away, the grant disbursement. And no matter the delays, no matter the changing timelines, the disbursement remains the central objective, and it will happen. So this focus would not change. Now, shifting in dates, arrival, and some stuff's timetable and all that, might have sometimes been mitigated with, but then one thing is certain: disbursement is imminent, and disbursement would not change. It is a central objective, is a central goal, which every one of us have to put our mind on. It's going to happen. The delay of the IMF team's arrival, while frustrating, I may call it, yes, it could be frustrating. A lot of personalities are receiving text messages and calls that often bothers them and is setting them on edge. But that should not be viewed as an insurmountable obstacle. It's just one of those things. So we must hope and pray that this delay does not spill over into yet another excuse. That is what we should pray about. Would it be that any time will come when we don't have to pray? Then there's going to be crisis. When you are nearing the expectation, pray. When you are on the expectation, pray. When you have received your blessing, pray on it also. So prayer is an ongoing process. It is my prayer that the delay of the IMF team from Kenya would not spill over into another excuse, such as the upcoming salary week. You know what that means? Such as the upcoming salary week, which could commence any time from the later part of this month, because once we begin to enter 20-something, different parastatals or government bodies begin to receive their funds and salaries. And with what IMF says, they want it to be a standalone disbursement, nothing interfering. Salary shouldn't interfere. Banking sector shouldn't give excuse of their paying salary. That is why someone, a beneficiary or a subscriber, did not get his own fund or allocation, as the case may be. So it should be a standalone. But then they are not in the country. So how do you mitigate with such effect and the delay and the lags? You understand? So such excuses also, though a part of the ecosystem, it's unfortunate, but a part of the ecosystem, it should not deter any of us from our focus on the on the ultimate prize. The ultimate prize, which is the release of the grant funds to every successful or eligible beneficiary who are in expectation of this fund. In conclusion, precisely, while the persistence of these irregularities may seem a little bit discouraging or disheartening, or sometimes even absurd, they should not lead to disillusionment, where you begin to think way off what you're supposed to be thinking. You're supposed to be thinking, having the mindset of someone who has been credited right now. So what is he saying? Do I have the fund in my pocket? Do I have it already in my bank account? Yes, think, if you want to be rich, think rich. If I think richiously, you understand? It's what you think about that comes to you. I can confidently tell us that our life gravitates towards our most dominant thoughts. You get that? Our life gravitates towards our most dominant thoughts. It's what you think about mostly that will come to you or that you represent. So begin to think, or begin to envisage, begin to imagine you in the reception of your fund. Don't say, well, it doesn't exist, it's just a fluke, it's just in the air, it's not anywhere. No, it's somewhere and it's with you. You understand? So think as a rich person, think as a millionaire, think as a billionaire. That is when it will come to you. All right? That is what I want you to do. The grand ecosystem, with all its complexities and fluctuations, remains a work in progress. Patience, perseverance, and focus on a larger picture, disbursement, are the key to navigating these challenges and this process that appears like it's not going to come again, but it's going to come. All right. So information will continue to change, but the goal remains the same. The grand disbursement would eventually occur, and that is what we must all keep in mind as we move forward. Don't let that goalpost in your mind but shift it. You are a winner. You are a winner, and nothing can take that away from you. No shifting timeline, no shifting date can make you less than a millionaire or a billionaire that you have been earmarked by your destiny to achieve. So think what you are. Think what you represent. Think exactly what you are and think exactly what you represent. Don't think less. I want to see the millionaires and the billionaires in the house begin to think like the millionaires and the billionaires that they represent. Yes, that is what I think. And that's what I know. And that's what I think is the best. All right, and that's what I'm thinking actually. So that's what I am. So please, whatever thing has happened or is happening within the grand ecosystem shouldn't change your personality or change you from your focus. I want to believe that this week still remains a mission week, a week of fulfillment of prophecies, a week of smiling, a week of grace, a week of testimonies, and it's going to happen to each and every one of us right in the house.